In this video, I wanted to show you a possible little known fact about the Exchange calculator. I hope everyone knows about this design and sizing verification tool from Microsoft and obviously uses it for their environments. Now, this video isn't about the tool itself, because we would have to get in depth about designing Exchange on premises. Now, we are going to focus on the scripts generated by the calculator tool, and you might say scripts. Yes, there are PowerShell scripts that help you deploy the Exchange environment you just designed and sized with this tool. And believe me that this can speed up your deployment considerably compared to fully manual deployments. So, after you download the tool from the Microsoft blog site or the TechNet site, you can open it with Excel. It's basically just an Excel file. A little tip, you might want to disable the autosave because I've encountered some issues with nothing serious, but just some graphic glitches. So turn it off and then you won't have any issues. So for those who don't really know this tool, this is an Excel sheet. In the input tab, you put in all your information about the size, the activity of your users, etc. And then you can investigate whether your sizing has been correct or that you might need a larger environment. With activation scenarios, you can see what happens, and etc. You have more information. But for now, let's focus on the distribution tab. You might want to have to refresh the database layout to get a fully up-to-date information screen. And then on the left-hand side, you see here a graphic representation of your Exchange environment with, in this case, 9 databases and 2 Exchange servers in one site. And in this table, it's already explained how database 1 has a active copy on Franklin server and a passive copy on the Washington server, but database 2 has a passive copy on Franklin 1 and a active copy on the Washington server. So this is a evenly distributed 2-server on-prem environment. Very small, very simple. So, and what is more exciting than having to work with PowerShell scripts? And in this case, we have some important buttons here. We have the export DB mount list, the export DAG list, the export primary DB list, the export copy DB list, and the export role calculator scripts. And let's check with that last one as first, because that's basically the most simple one. If you click that, then it asks you where you want to export all your PowerShell scripts. Well, in this case, I want to do it on my desktop just to put it on here. Okay. Export, and then the export scripts are saved to that location. So, and if we want to take a look how that is, so let's see how that is saved. And you see 4 different PowerShell scripts. You see a create DAG, PS1, and create MDB database copies, and create MDB databases, and diskport. So, what about the other buttons? So, the export DB mount list button will provide a CSV file named servers.csv detailing which database will be mounted on which server and on which path, according to the distribution provided by the calculator. So if you press that button, a new pop-up screen arrives, and then you can again enter the export path. In this case, I will do it in the desktop on folder test. I have a volume root, and that is actually the root or the mount point on which all the Exchange volumes are located. And the same goes for the database root. That's just where the databases are mounted. So in normal cases or in the best practice cases, you have a mount point on which all the Exchange database volumes are mounted via a directory folder. And these are the mount points that are used. So I use a lot of time, I use just a 5 gig volume and then S drive, for instance, and then I let this script create the correct folders and mount points. So in this case, you might have to change this value to S. So let's do that for this case. And another case option you have is the volume format. You can choose the old classic NTFS and REFS. In most cases, I just still use NTFS, but I do know that the preferred architecture mentions REFS. It depends on your situation whether which of those is the better choice. If you're not sure what you're doing, well, you have to read up on that, but I tend to use NTFS. And the first DAG drive is actually the first physical drive on the Exchange server. If you look at, if you use a volume manager or a disk part or something like that, then you see that all the drives or all the volumes are numbered from 0 to, I don't know what the maximum number is. Even if it doesn't have a drive letter, it does still have a disk number. And most of the times you have a system drive, a swap drive in your Exchange environment. So it could be that the first real database volume you are going to mount on that virtual machine or on your physical Exchange server might have number 4 or number 6 or whatever. But you have to check that in your environment, and then you have to edit that option here. You can always edit the CSV file after you have exported it. But this is the export for the mount point. So if I click OK, then it's exported to a servers.csv file. So the export DAG list is another button, and if we press that, obviously we get another screen, but it pops up because it's a little bit too big size. It also has the export path, same as ever. You can change the DAG name. Normally it would take the DAG name from the Excel sheet, but you can change that. You can enter all these different specific for your environment, like global address, witness directory, the active servers, the availability, etc., etc., etc. And as you can see, I changed that root folder path and volume root folder path, and it remembers that setting and uses it in other subsequent exports. So let's just press on OK, and unfortunately it's a little bit below the screen. So as you can see, user cluster administrative point IP address. So you can enter an IP address if that is something you require, and then click yes. Sorry about this, but you can enter a DAG address. But in most cases you don't want to do that, so you do a no, then the screen disappears again, and then we can press OK, and then it has saved the DAG information in DAG info.csv. So the export primary DB list, that is a export button that will export your primary database list according to your calculator. So if you press that button, again, the export path, and also again the database root, as I had changed that previously to S, so it has done that as well as here. You can enter a global catalog, enter a lot of other things, and the beautiful thing is that every database will be configured with the settings you set here. So let's put in 800 megs, and then set up other options, and then press OK, and then it will be saved in the mailbox databases.csv. So, and the export copy DB list, that has the list of all the copy databases in the environment, and we'll save that in the mailbox databases copies CSV. So if I press this, you see the export path again, and you can enter a global catalog if that's required. And it adapts if you have a more complex environment. So if you have 2 sites, then you will be able to enter a second global catalog, for instance. Because the database copy list is dependent on what you do with the primary DB list, there are no further configurations. So this is basically just pressing OK, and then it will be saved. The information will be saved in the mailbox database copies CSV. So, and that are all the buttons.
Thank you for watching this video. Dave and I are working hard to create practical content from our own expertise in Exchange and PowerShell. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Look for future videos coming soon. Again, thank you for watching this video. Leave your comments below.